Well, I don't know. This is supposed to be the playoffs before the playoffs. It sure in the hell didn't look like it. Were we ready to play? I mean, when you look at the beginning of the game, they looked like we shouldn't even belong on the field with the Rams. We were getting gash. I'm looking at plays, I'm taking notes. And I'm like looking at pass receptions they have, plus 28, plus 11, plus 10. It went on and on and on. It's like double digits. And I said, what did they actually average? It's like they're averaging 7 yards a play. Well, don't you get 3 downs to go 10 yards? And they're averaging 7 yards a play? No, listen. I know everybody wants to score points on offense, and our strength is supposed to be our defense. I'm extremely disappointed in our defense. And really, offensive defensive line, we got out behind, kicked in the trenches. Well, we did not move anybody off the line. They set the tone. The bottom line is all you have to know. We averaged 2.2 yards a run. What? And they averaged 4.2. Well, that's been the whole season. We've basically given up 4.5 yards a game, and we've only gained 3.5, except today we only got 2.2 yards. When they're running crossing routes, I'm looking and say, boy, sometimes they didn't even put a move on. And you let a guy like Matthew Stafford have those guys that wide open on crossing routes, he's not going to miss that. That's not a complicated route. We're not able to cover it. I mean, I was extremely disappointed in 2 young guys that we're counting on in the back end of the secondary. Not having Lattimore. Alontae Taylor. Man, we had to sit Alontae Taylor down and put in Ugo Amadi. That's the guy from Oregon, the 5-year veteran. And Isaac Yadam. I mean, he was playing outstanding up until this game. Not so much this game. And then Chris Olave. Yeah, you look at the numbers. Chris Olave, 9 catches, 13 targets, 123 yards, right on the 14-yard average. But a couple of passes hits him right in the hands. But we were only losing 10-7. You remember that third down? Come on, how about you catch it? Come on, catch the ball. You're a pro. Please catch the ball. Derek Carr, I don't know, sometimes he looks scared to me in the pocket. You can have pocket awareness. Not saying take off and run, but don't look to be sacked before you actually get sacked. Like you can move in the pocket and they can't really cream you anymore. They can't hit you. They end up having only a couple of sacks. But at the same time, it gets a little jittery. And you could say, look, Bobby was 27 of 40, 319 yards. A lot of that was garbage yards. You have to look at the game, and it's like the Rams almost wanted to run out the clock at the end because that game was well in hand. To me, I don't know. I'm trying to be objective. Do we look like we belonged on the field with the Rams? I would say no, but hell no.
No, they definitely look like a 10-win team out there, not a 7-win team.
Yes, I said, are they 7-7 like us? Well, you know why they might be 7-7? Because their strength of schedule might be a lot harder. No, with our strength of schedule, what do you think our record should be? At least 9-5, considering who do we beat? We beat last place teams, or teams that don't have a winning record. Come on, they can't sugarcoat this. Nobody can sugarcoat this. Are we heading in the right direction? I don't know. All I know is you're never going to have an easier schedule than we had this year. There's no reason why you couldn't get to double-digit wins and end on a winning streak. Now, the wild card, no. Mathematically, all of a sudden, it's not going to work out the wild card. Now, can we beat Tampa Bay and Atlanta? Yes, but what is that saying? Everybody sucks in the NFC South. What is that saying? So you won your division, a bad division? The NFC South? They're going to change the name. But I guess you keep fighting. You try and be a pro. But look, on 4th down, this one thing I don't hold this against Dennis Allen. I think it's about our execution. When he was aggressive, we ended up being 0 for 3 on 4th down. Remember at the beginning, and he'd be going for it on 4th down? Because you know why he was going for it on 4th down? Because he didn't think we could stop the Rams. That's why we were going for it on 4th down. We got to score. He almost looked at it, even though the defense is supposed to be the strength of the team, that we got to freaking score. We got to keep pace where the Rams are at right now. Now, looking at, again, that's just terrible. 2.2 yards a carry. They had 4.2. Turnover margin, not that it really made a difference. Card through that pick. You look when it happened and everything. But I thought, we needed to be like a +1, +2 type game. and we ended up being -1 in the turnover margin. They were just setting the tone. They basically had the ball 9 minutes more than we did. So, I mean, that didn't surprise me. Steve, I told you, I thought we'd play a whole lot better. I was really discouraged.
No, it turned into exactly what we didn't want, the shootout game.
Yes, I was totally discouraged. That's why even Dennis Allen at the end, we got to go for the onside kick because the defense can't stop it. We got to luck out. Maybe the ball bounces up, and we only down 8 points. We've been very successful converting 2-point plays. But you know why it's never a good day? If you'd have told me this before the game, Taysom Hill and or should I say Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill combined, they're going to have 37 total yards from scrimmage. Total. Alvin Kamara had 35, and it needs to be hovering around 100 plus, and Taysom Hill had 2. You know who we didn't stop? Kyron Williams. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry, 22 carries, 104 yards. So that didn't surprise me. How's Matthew Stafford, like 35? I guarantee you he can spin it with any 20-year-old. He reminds me kind of like I watch him throw, kind of like Warren Moon when he was 40 years old. Matthew Stafford, he looks like, man, just another day at the office.
Yeah.
We did not impact him at all, and I talked about us not winning in the trenches. How about Puka Nacua? 11 targets, 9 catches. Well, he just averaged like 18 and a half yards reception. He had 164 yards. You look at Robinson, he averaged right at 14 yards a carry. Cooper Kupp actually dropped a couple of balls. He ended up with 6 catches. He was only 12 targets, 6 catches. He ended up averaging right at 9 yards.
He could have had 2 touchdowns.
Yes. So when I look at, I mean, you might say, oh, it was just a bad day at the office. I don't know. I didn't even think we belonged on the field with the Rams. Ouch. I haven't been discouraged in a while. When you look at other games, well, the Saints, that's not that far off. No, they were really far off in this matchup. I think the Rams at the end, you might say they got a little too conservative, but I thought the game wasn't even close. Now, Carl Granderson, I think he ended up getting hurt. He comes up with a sack, had a quarterback hurry, a tackle for loss. Paulson and Debo end up, that's not good. Paulson and Debo end up leading the team in tackles. Doesn't he play on the outside? He had 11 total tackles, and 9 unassisted. No, I was extremely disappointed. You might say, well, Bobby, this day and age, the offense got to keep pace. But I think Dennis Allen, he knew how good this Rams offense was. And, the last, was it 3 or 4 games, they've averaged 33 points. Well, I could see why. I could see why now. Looking at the Rams, they went to Baltimore and lost in overtime and scored 31 points. So it's very humbling. You might think, oh, our defense is pretty good. Not when you're playing the Rams. Not so much. I don't know if they could do anything. They could be up and down.
Looked like a dangerous team for sure.
Yeah, they look like, when you look at the playoff picture, everybody says,
I don't want to play them.
Watch out if the Buffalo Bills and the AFC get in the playoffs. Well, I'd say in the NFC, watch out if the Rams get in the playoffs. How they could be explosive and stuff. So, no, very disheartened, very discouraging loss. I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm so old school that I look, what are you doing in the trenches? How are you affecting the opposing quarterback, or can you run the ball? When you're averaging 2.2 yards a carry, I don't think you can run. So you're getting your butt kicked. You're not moving them, and you're not being disruptive. No, it was tackling. I don't know. It's another thing. Do we really, I don't know, we might be in position, but we don't tackle well. I mean, sometimes they don't, this day and age, you don't really practice tackling. I guess you just have to do it. But it seems like even if we're in position, if you have the right defensive call, they always get yards after contact. Whatever. So a very disheartening loss. I really thought, forgive me, Houdat Nation, I thought that it'd be a field goal type game. I said take the Saints 4.5 points. I thought it would be, remember I told you, like 24, 23, 27, 26. But the score was 30-22. It wasn't even that close.
Right.
You
Very
might say,
deceiving.
the Saints hung in there. They didn't hang in there. Man, the Saints got their ass whipped. The Rams were 3 touchdowns better than the Saints today.